ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, I'll be talking about NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver 2021 Night 1. Now, overall, man, this is a really great show, man. You know, every match on this show was a great match, man. There wasn't not one bad match on this show. Man, this is a great show, man. Like really great show. Now, if I had to choose like, the match of the night, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but if I had to choose, it had to be between the Walter and Ciampa match or the Raquel Gonzalez and the Shirai match. So yeah, it had to be between those two. But yeah, man, this is a great show, man. Night one was, and man, and so yeah, this is the NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver review on the Ryan Awesome Show for night one. And if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and you turn on that bell so you don't miss out. And so yeah, man. So yeah, we started off Takeover Stand and Deliver with the pre-show. I didn't watch the pre-show. Like usually with the shows, the pay-per-views, I never watch the pre-shows. But yeah, I heard, it was Toni Storm. It was Toni Storm versus Zoey Stark. And Zoey Stark had beat Toni Storm. And from what I heard, it was a great match. But yeah, with the pre-shows, I really don't watch them. And so yeah, that was it with the pre-show. And so yeah, we started off the show with a performance of the national anthem from Nita Strauss. And yeah, they had fans too. They had fans in the crowd, so that was good to see. And so yeah, so we started off the match, we started off the show with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne versus Kushida. And so yeah, this is the battle of the technical wrestlers match. And so yeah, Pete Dunne, he had came out first, and he came out to new theme music. And so I was confused. I did not like the theme music that they gave him. I like his old theme music was better than his new theme music. I don't know why they changed his theme music when it was perfect as it is. So yeah, so Pete Dunne, he got new theme music. Not a fan of it, but I was a fan of this match though. And so yeah, first off, we start off with both of these guys. They try to lock in the armbar on each other, and they were out wrestling each other the entire time. Yeah, Pete Dunne hit an X-Plex to Kushida on the ring apron, and then Pete Dunne, he used the ring rope to target Kushida's arm, and then Dunne, he started to stomp on Kushida over and over and over again, and they were going back and forth with chops and strikes, and then Kushida, he had a cartwheel drop kick to Pete Dunne, and then outside of the ring, Kushida, he had hit a springboard back elbow to Pete Dunne outside the ring. And then Kushida, he had ran down the stage like he did to Johnny Gargano at TakeOver Vengeance Day. So yeah, ran across the stage and just kicked Pete Dunne in the arm. And and then Kushida, he had a Pele kick to Dunne. And so yeah, Dunne, Dunne, he had snapped Kushida's fingers. Of course he did. And then Pete Dunne, he tried to hit the bitter end, his finishing move, but Kushida, he had turned it into a cradle, like a cradle brainbuster or something like that. And so he hit the cradle brainbuster to Dunne. And then Dunne had kicked out, and then we had went to a commercial break. So this is our first commercial break of the night. And so yeah, during the commercial break, Dunne, he was targeting Kushida's arm, and then Kushida, he targeted Dunne's arm. And then yeah, we came back from commercial break. Kushida, he had a Falcon Arrow to Pete Dunne, and he followed it up with an armbar, and then Dunne, he had escaped the move. And then we had a double underhook into a armbar to Kushida. And so yeah, Pete Dunne and Kushida, they were going back and forth with strikes and kicks and everything. And then Kushida, he had locked in his hoverboard submission move on the top rope. And then he had, jumped off the rope with Pete Dunne while he had the lock still on. And so they were in the middle of the ring on the ground. And so yeah, and then Pete Dunne he had grabbed the rope. So Pete Dunne he had grabbed the rope, and no, he put his foot on the rope, put his foot on the rope, and then Kushida he had locked in the hoverboard lock again, and then Dunne he had grabbed the rope. And so yeah, Kushida man, he did not let go, man. Kushida he kept going after that hoverboard lock over and over and over and over and over again. And so yeah, and then Dunne he had snapped Dunne had snapped Kushida's fingers, and then he stomped on it over and over and over again, and then he kicked Kushida in the face, and then to end the match we had Pete Dunne hit his finishing move, the bitter end to Kushida to win the match. So Pete Dunne he wins the match, and great match to open up the show. Great back and forth between these guys. Kushida didn't want to quit. That never say die attitude with Kushida. I really love that. And like since Kushida lost, man, what exactly is next for him? Because he lost to Jordan Devlin on NXT. He lost to Johnny Gargano in an NXT North American Championship match, and now he lost to Pete Dunne. So what's next for him? Because like every time he been in the ring, man, with anybody, he lost, man. So I don't know what they doing with him. I don't know what's next for Kushida, but they gotta do something with him, man, because he keep losing and losing and losing and losing and losing. But yeah, other than that, man, it was a great match to start off the show. And so yeah, right after that, man, we had another match. It was the Gauntlet Eliminator match. And so yeah, we went. So right after the Kushida and Pete Dunne match, we had went to a commercial break. So yeah, we had our commercial break, and so yeah, we had came back from commercial break, and the match already started, the Gauntlet Eliminator match. And so it was Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott, and they were fighting. They were already in the ring, and they were fighting. They were fighting outside the ring, and then they fought towards the announce table. And then Leon Ruff he had jumped off the announce table and hit a cutter on Isaiah Swerve Scott outside of the ring. And so yeah, Scott he ended up taking control of the match, and then and we Leon Ruff he had a top rope hurricane around it to Scott. And so the next entrant came out, Bronson Reed. And so Bronson Reed he had came out walking to the ring to his theme music. And then Leon Ruff, like an idiot, he went on the top rope to try to dive on Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed had caught him. And then he threw him into the ring. He tried to throw him into Isaiah Swerve Scott, but Isaiah Swerve Scott he had sidestepped Bronson Reed. So yeah, Leon Ruff he went crashing into the ring after Bronson Reed threw him. And so yeah, we had a corner splash to Scott from Bronson Reed, and then yeah, you had a double team move to Scott from Reed and Ruff. So Reed and Ruff they were working together for a little bit, and then yeah, and then Leon Ruff targeted. He went right after Bronson Reed, which was a dumb move, and he tried to outpower Bronson Reed, which is a dumb move because Leon Ruff is a small guy and Bronson Reed is a big dude. And so yeah, he tried to use his speed against Bronson Reed, and then Bronson Reed ended up landing right on top of Leon Ruff, so that had to hurt Leon Ruff. And then he had a bonsai drop. He had a bonsai drop to Leon Ruff, so that had to hurt too, man. And so yeah, and then we had Bronson Reed. He had hit a double German suplex to Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott, so he hit a German suplex on them at the same time. And so the next entrant came out, Cameron Grimes. So Cameron Grimes he had came out, strutting to the ring to his theme music. And so yeah, and then Grimes he had hit Reed with a moonsault. And then yeah, Grimes he had took out, his cash, his money. It was a whopper money, a whopper cash. And so he took it out and he gave Isaiah Swerve Scott the money. So yeah, he paid him off. He paid him off so they can work together. So he tried to get them to work together. So he gave Isaiah Swerve Scott the money. And so yeah, they started working together. Cameron Grimes and Isaiah Swerve Scott did. And they took out Leon Ruff. And then yeah, Scott he had threw Ruff into the corner like he did like weeks ago. And so the next entrant came out, Dexter Lumis. So Dexter Lumis he was walking slowly to the ring. And so yeah, somehow Ruff had got eliminated during Dexter Lumis entrance. He had got eliminated by Cameron Grimes and Isaiah Swerve Scott. They were both fighting over the pin, and so Isaiah Swerve Scott had got the pin over Leon Ruff. So Leon Ruff is out. And then yeah, Bronson Reed he was on the stage while Dexter Lumis was coming out to the ring, and so Bronson Reed he had a DDT on Dexter Lumis. No, he had a DDT on Bronson Reed on the stage ramp. And so yeah, and then yeah, we had a slingshot. He had a slingshot suplex to Grimes and Scott from Dexter Lumis. And then at one point, Reed and Lumis they had a face off, so they were face to face, and then they were going back and forth. And then yeah, Grimes and Lumis they were fighting at one point, and then Grimes and Lumis they had clotheslined each other outside of the ring, which was a nasty fall. Dexter Lumis did not land it good. He did not land it good. So yeah, it looked like the rope had caught him right in his throat, man. So yeah, that was a nasty spot. And so the final entrant, which was no surprise, was LA Knight. And so LA Knight, he came out to the ring with his theme music and he was talking trash to everybody, saying that he's gonna win the Gauntlet Eliminator match. And so yeah, Bronson Reed he was on the stage, recovering. And so Bronson Reed had came from behind and grabbed LA Knight by the hair and just threw him into the ring. And so yeah, Reed he took out Knight. And so yeah, Knight he ended up fighting back. He had a neck breaker to Reed. And then Knight he had took out Grimes with a tilt-a-whirl side slam, it looked like. And then yeah, and then LA Knight, a beautiful move that he did. He ran up to the top rope. So Isaiah Swerve Scott, he was on the top rope. And so LA Knight he had ran towards Scott, he jumped from the ring into onto the top rope and just grabbed Isaiah Swerve Scott and just superplexed him off of the top rope. Beautiful. Beautiful superplex from LA Knight. And so yeah, Dexter Lumis he had locked in his silent submission move to Grimes, and so Grimes he was about to tap out, but LA Knight he had went, he had came from behind and just rolled up Dexter Lumis. So he had Dexter Lumis in a pinfall position, it looked like a jackknife cover. He had him in a jackknife cover, and so he pinned Dexter Lumis. So Dexter Lumis is eliminated, and so I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked that Dexter Lumis got eliminated. I thought he was gonna win the thing. I thought he was gonna win the whole doggone thing, the whole tournament, not the tournament, the match. But he got eliminated by LA Knight. And so yeah, everybody was taking out, everybody took out Knight, and then we had a running senton to Knight from Reed to eliminate LA Knight. So LA Knight got eliminated. So yeah, so right after he eliminated Dexter Lumis, LA Knight got eliminated by Bronson Reed. And so yeah. And so right after that, we had Lumis from outside the ring, who was already eliminated. He had locked in his submission move, the silence on LA Knight. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so the final three were Bronson Reed, Isaiah Swerve Scott, and Cameron Grimes. And so, yeah, they were all fighting each other. They were going back and forth. And then at one point, Reed, he had fell right on top of Grimes and Isaiah Swerve Scott after he got hit with a super kick, it looked like. And then, yeah. And so, yeah. So yeah, Grimes and Scott they were tag teaming again. They were beating down Bronson Reed, working together. And so, but they tried to take him out, but he was still standing up, so they could not take him out. And so Bronson Reed ended up taking out both of them. And so yeah, we had a standing Spanish fly. I love that move that Cameron Grimes does. That Spanish fly, that standing Spanish fly. I love that move that he does. So yeah, he hit that Spanish fly on Reed, and then and so yeah, Grimes he tried to pin Reed, but Isaiah Swerve Scott had stopped the pin, so he ended up kicking Grimes in the face, or he kicked Bronson Reed in the face. And so yeah, he rolled up. So him and Grimes they were going back and forth. Scott and Grimes they were going back and forth with pinfalls. And so Isaiah Swerve Scott ended up getting the better of the pinfall. So he ended up grabbing Cameron Grimes tights to eliminate Cameron Grimes. So Cameron Grimes is eliminated by Isaiah Swerve Scott. And so the final two were Isaiah Swerve Scott and Bronson Reed. And so at that point I was like, they're giving it to Bronson Reed, man. Bronson Reed is gonna win this. And so yeah, Scott, so Bronson Reed, he was at the top rope, right? He was about to go for his top rope body splash, that tsunami, but Isaiah Swerve Scott, he had went over to Bronson Reed and just threw him. He had threw him off of the top rope, and Bronson Reed, he landed right on the ring apron. So yeah. And so right after that, we had Isaiah Swerve Scott, he had went for the top rope, hit a 450 splash to Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed kicked out. And then Isaiah Swerve Scott, he had his signature move, that house call, that jumping kick. And so, yeah, he hit it on Bronson Reed, and he hit another one on Bronson Reed. And Bronson Reed was still up. And so he had tried to go for a third one, and Bronson Reed ended up reversing it. And so, yeah, Isaiah Swerve Scott ended up fighting back, and he hit the third house call. And so Reed, he had kicked out of that. He kicked out of 3 house calls. And so, yeah, they were going back and forth with slaps. Bronson Reed and Isaiah Swerve Scott were going back and forth with slaps. Bronson Reed slapped slapped his face off, slapped Isaiah Swerve Scott hard, man, slapped the hell out of him. And so yeah, right after that, and then Bronson Reed, he had a power bomb, a wicked power bomb to Isaiah Swerve Scott. And then Bronson Reed, he had the air raid crash. He had the air raid crash on Scott. And to end the match, he had hit the tsunami, his top rope diving splash, the most devastating body splash from a big guy. He hit that splash on Isaiah Scott, smushed him like a pancake, and to win the match. So Bronson Reed, he wins the match and will be going against Johnny Gargano on night 2 for the NXT North American Championship. So yeah, I thought this was a great match, an absolutely great match. Like I thought they were gonna give Dexter Lumis the win because Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis, they have a feud, and you know Dexter Lumis, he kidnapped Johnny Gargano's kid, Austin Theory. He kidnapped Austin Theory, and Indy Hartwell have a thing for Dexter Lumis, so I thought they were gonna give it to Dexter Lumis. But they ended up giving it to Bronson Reed, which was one of my original choices. It was either going to be Reed or Lumis was going to win that match. And so, yeah, man. So Gargano versus Reed, that should be a good match. And I see Bronson Reed winning that NXT North American Championship from Johnny Gargano on night 2. And so, yeah, man, that was it with that match, man. Great match. And so, yeah, right after this, man, we had a match, and it was for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. Man, this match, this was a beat down. So it was Tommaso Ciampa, the black cart, the psychopath, the psycho killer, Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter, the NXT United Kingdom champion. And so yeah, one thing I picked up was that Tommaso Ciampa, he shaved his head. Thank God, man, he shaved his head. Finally, man, I was like, man, when is he gonna shave his head? I was like, yes, he shaved his head. And he shaved his chest hair too, so I was like, man, if he shaved his chest hair, yeah, he gonna get chopped, man. And so yeah, he shaved his chest, his hair, and he went back to his old ring gear too. He used to wear the long tights. Now he went back to the short tights. And so yeah, and then versus Walter, who is the NXT United Kingdom champion, over 730 days as the United Kingdom champion. That's a championship reign right there. That's a championship reign. 730 days, and he only had one reign. That's a championship reign right there. And so yeah, at the start of the match, man, we had Ciampa. He dodged Walter's chop. He dodged it. And so yeah, Ciampa, he tries to out wrestle Walter, and then yeah, he started to hit Walter with with slaps and stomps. So he laid it in Walter. So he started beating Walter up. And so yeah, he beat him up in a corner. And so Ciampa, he tried to go for his running corner boot. But Walter, he had caught him with that chop, man. The most devastating chop in the professional wrestling business, that chop from Walter. And so yeah, they were fighting outside the ring at one point. They were fighting near the commentary desk. And so Ciampa, he was laid on a commentary desk. And so Walter, he was about to chop him. Ciampa moved out of the way. And Walter, he literally chopped the announce table. Like, he chopped the announce table. Like, he chopped it in half. Like the table, the cover was broken in half, dude. He chopped it. That was freaking awesome, dude. That was awesome. Like, he moved out of the way and just chopped it, like literally chopped it in half. So that was a really cool spot from Walter. And so Ciampa, he started to chop Walter. And then yeah, Walter, he slammed Ciampa on the ring apron at one point. And then Ciampa, he targeted Walter's arm, which is a smart move, so he could stop with the chops and everything. And so, yeah, we had a big boot to Ciampa. Absolutely kicked his face off. He kicked his head right off his body with that big boot. And so, yeah, Walter, he hit another big boot on Ciampa. And then we had clotheslines to Walter. And Walter is still standing up. And so, yeah. And so we went to commercial break during this match. And I did not like that, man. I did not like the fact that they went to commercial break during this match. But, yeah, during the commercial break, we had Tommaso Ciampa. He was hitting clotheslines to Walter over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and Walter was still standing up. And so yeah, and right after that last clothesline that he had hit, Walter had caught him with a chop. And so yeah, and then Walter, they were going back and forth. Ciampa, he had a fairy tale ended to Walter. His finishing move, the fairy tale ending to Walter. And so Walter, he had kicked out of the fairy tale ending. And then Walter, he had locked in the sleeper hold to Ciampa. And then Ciampa, he ended up fighting out of it. And then Walter had hit a German suplex to Ciampa. And so, yeah, so he followed that up with a clothesline from hell, a clothesline that would make JBL proud. And so Ciampa, he had kicked out. And so, yeah, and then at one point, Ciampa, he was biting at Walter's hand. So he was biting the hand. And so, yeah, Ciampa, he had locked in the armbar to Walter. and then Walter had get his foot on the rope. He put his foot on the rope. And so yeah, Ciampa, he was stomping on Walter, and he started pounding on Walter. And then yeah, Ciampa, he tried to go for his signature move, the Willow's Bell, and then Walter, yeah, fought out of it. And then Ciampa, he continued to go after his hands. He continued to go after Walter's hand. And then Ciampa, he had an air raid crash. He had an air raid crash to Walter on the top rope. Walter is a big dude, man. And he picked up Walter and hit an air raid crash off the top rope, man. And so Walter, he had kicked out after all that. He kicked out of it. And then Ciampa, he chopped down Walter over and over and over again. And then, yeah, Walter, he had chopped Ciampa with his left hand. Because remember, Ciampa had injured Walter's right hand, so he can't hit the chop with the right hand. So he hit it with the left hand. And so, yeah, and then at one point we had Walter, he had stood right on top of Ciampa. And so, yeah, snapped his neck. He had snapped Ciampa's neck. And so, which was a smart move going after Ciampa's weak spot, that neck. And so, yeah, Walter, he had hit his finish move, the power bomb. He hit 2 power bombs. And Ciampa, he had kicked out of that. I was like, what? He kicked out of his finishing move twice. And so, yeah, right after that, Walter, he hit a German suplex on Ciampa. And then, yeah, he followed it up with a chop. He followed up with a chop to win the match. So Walter, he wins the match and is still the NXT United Kingdom champion. Man, this is an awesome match. This is one of the best matches on the show, man. This is a beat down, man. This is a beat down. They beat the hell out of each other. They beat the crap out of each other, man. And so yeah, man. I asked this earlier, man. What's next for Kushida? Man, what's next for Ciampa, man? What is next for Ciampa? Because he's been on he's been on a losing streak too. So what's next for Ciampa? Because I know he does not want to go to the main roster. He does not want to go to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. So I don't know what they're going to do with Ciampa, man. But yeah, man, that was it with that, man. Walter is still the United Kingdom champion. And who is next for Walter? And who's going to beat Walter? Nobody. I mean, nobody. Nobody is beating Walter. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had a video, man. We had a video of the dog, the dog that they showed last week. And the dog was running up to Franky. Franky, this person's name was Franky Monet. And they said that Franky Monet will debut on Tuesday. And the Franky person is Taya Valkyrie. I said this last week. It's Taya Valkyrie because I saw her tattoos this time. So, yeah, so it's Taya Valkyrie, dude. And so, yeah, right after that, we had another match, and it was for the NXT Tag Team Championships. And it was a triple threat match. So it was MSK, that's Nash Carter and Wes Lee, versus Legado del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza, versus the Grizzled young veterans, that's Zack Gibson and James Drake. And so, yeah, man, this is a great match too, man. And so, yeah, I like what this match would do. I could not keep up, man. I could not take notes in this match. I try to get as much things as I could in this match, but I could not, man. It was like too many bodies, man. Too many bodies moving around, so I could not keep up with it. And so yeah, we had MSK. They took down Gibson, so they double teamed Gibson, and then the Grizzled Young Veterans, they took control. They took out MSK and Legado del Fantasma, and we had kicks to Drake from MSK. And then we had at one point Carter, he had jumped off of Wesley's back, and dove on everybody that was outside the ring. And we had a double outside dive from Legado del Fantasma to everybody. And so, yeah, we had a double diving corner drop kick to Carter from Legado del Fantasma. And then Gibson, he had broke up the pin. And then Legado del Fantasma, they had ganged up on Gibson, so they started beating him down. And then Legado del Fantasma, they took control of the match during that point. And then we had a double suplex. We had a double suplex to Carter from Legado del Fantasma. And we had Mendoza, he had a lion salt to Carter. And then Carter, he had kicked out. And, yeah, we had a hot tag to Wesley. He took out everybody, with dives and kicks and drop kicks and stuff. And we had a cartwheel. Yeah, he followed it up with a cartwheel Pele kick to Drake. So that was beautiful, man. That was a beautiful move. And then we had Carter, he had hit a jumping knee to Drake. And we had a double reverse DDT to Legado del Fantasma from Wes Lee. And then, yeah, Grizzled Young Veterans, they targeted Lee's bad hand, his injured hand. And so Gibson, he had locked in his submission move, the Shankly Gates to Wes Lee. And then Drake, Carter, he tried to stop the submission move, but James Drake, he ended up blocking the submission move to Carter. And so yeah, so at one point, Carter, he was about to tap out. So Lee was about to tap out, and so Carter, he had stopped Lee from tapping out. And so this was shades of the DIY. It's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Revival, at NXT Takeover Toronto. When they try to stop each other from tapping out and stuff. And so yeah, Legado del Fantasma, they ended up stopping the submission move. They ended up taking out Grizzled veterans, and then they took out everybody. And then Legado del Fantasma, they hit their finishing move, their tag team finishing move on one of the guys. And yeah, to Lee, they hit it on Lee, and then Lee, he had kicked out. And then from the stage, we had a Doomsday Device. We had a Doomsday Device from the Grizzled veterans to Joaquin Wilde off the stage. It was kind of like a tope. It was like a tope suicida type Doomsday Device. So yeah, so Drake, he had ran off of the stage and hit the Doomsday Device on Wilde. And then yeah, MSK, they took out Mendoza with a burning hammer outside the ring. And then MSK and GYV, they were going at it. They were face to face. So this is a rematch, I guess, or their continuation of their fight in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And so yeah, they were going back and forth and everything. And then MSK, they hit they tag team finishing move that assisted, that dropped that blockbuster move, that assisted blockbuster to Gibson to win the match. So MSK, they won the match and are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. And that was it, man. That was it. Really, really great match, man. And so yeah, I went with MSK. It was either MSK or Grizzled Veterans was gonna win, and I went with MSK. And yeah, they won, man. What's next for the Grizzled Veterans? I don't know. Since they lost 2 years in a row in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and they failed to win the NXT Tag Team Championship. So what's next for them? I don't know. And so yeah, man, that was great. Great match, man. And so yeah, right after that, we had our main event, which is another match. One of my favorites, one of my other favorite matches on the show was the NXT Women's Championship match. And it was Raquel Gonzalez with Dakota Kai in her corner versus Io Shirai, who is the NXT Women's Champion, the Joshi Judas. And so yeah, right from the start, man, Shirai, she went right after Gonzalez. And then Gonzalez, she had caught her, used her power against Shirai. And we had a big boot to Shirai. And we had a tope suicida into a crossbody to Gonzalez outside the ring. And so, yeah, Kai, she had got involved in a match at one point right in front of the referee's face. And so the referee did not disqualify Raquel Gonzalez. He kicked out Dakota Kai from ringside. So he kicked out Dakota Kai. And so Dakota Kai is gone. And so, yeah, we had a springboard moonsault to Gonzalez out of the ring. And then, yeah. And so, yeah, at one point, Io Shirai, she was about to go for another high-flying move on Gonzalez outside the ring, but Gonzalez ended up catching Io Shirai. So she caught Io Shirai, and she just threw her, lawn darted her into the ring post. And then we had a wheelbarrow, like a wheelbarrow powerbomb slingshot into, on the ropes to Io Shirai. And then, yeah, we had elbow drops to Shirai. She kicked out. And then Shirai, she ended up fighting back with a foot stomp to Gonzalez, and then she hit a 619 to Gonzalez. And we had a springboard missile dropkick to Gonzalez. And then she followed up with a cold red. And then Gonzalez, she had kicked out. And then Io Shirai, she tried to go for her finishing move, that moonsault, that diving moonsault. But Raquel Gonzalez ended up walking towards Io Shirai and caught her with that one-handed power bomb. She tried to hit her finishing move, that one-handed power bomb. But Io Shirai, she had fought out of it and locked in the crossface submission move. And so yeah, when she locked in a crossface submission move, like Raquel Gonzalez, she was close to the ropes, and her long legs was already under the ropes, so the referee did not see it. And so yeah, so she had to position herself. So Io Shirai had to position herself in the middle of the ring. And so yeah, Gonzalez, she was trying to fight out of it. She almost overpowered it, but Io Shirai, she still had the lock. She still had the submission move locked in. And so Gonzalez, she ended up grabbing the rope. So yeah, Gonzalez, she had grabbed the rope, and they ended up going outside the ring. Io Shirai, she had an outside moonsault to Gonzalez on the stage, and then she followed up with a running meteora to Gonzalez on the stage. And so yeah, during that point, the referee was checking on Gonzalez for a long time, and then you had Io Shirai. You had the camera had zoomed out, and then zoom back into Io's face, and Io was right on top of the stage. She was right on top of the stage. That skull that was on the stage, she had stood right on top of that skull, which was 20 feet high. What they said, it was 20 feet high. And so Io Shirai, she ended up jumping off of the skull onto Gonzalez. So she had a crossbody on Gonzalez off the skull. And so at first I was like, man, how did she get up there that fast? I was like, how did she get up there, man? And so yeah. So yeah, they went back into the ring. Io Shirai, she had a finishing move, that moonsault, that diving moonsault. So Gonzalez, she had kicked out of that. And then yeah, and so yeah, they ended up going back outside of the ring, and then Gonzalez had hit a one-handed powerbomb on Io Shirai on the floor outside the ring. And so yeah, and so Gonzalez, she was talking trash to Io Shirai, telling her to stay down. Like, what does it take for you to stay down and all that stuff? And so yeah, Io, she ended up fighting back for a little bit. And then Gonzalez, she had caught her with a lariat. And then to end the match, we had Raquel Gonzalez. She had a finish move, that one-handed powerbomb to win the match. So therefore, Raquel Gonzalez, she wins the match and is the new NXT Women's Champion. And I was like, yes, 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 yes. I was like, finally, man, she deserves it, man. So Gonzalez, she won and is the new NXT Women's Champion. And that was it, man. That was it. A great match to end off the show with the women. Great match, man. And this proves why I said it time and time again. The NXT Women's Division is the best women's division in the world. There's no other company that has the best women's division than NXT. Nobody, man. And right after the match, yeah. So Big Joseph on commentary, he had mentioned that Raquel Gonzalez is the first woman to hold the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. And I was like, what? I was like, that's not true. I was like, I thought Ember Moon. Isn't Ember Moon the person that done that? Isn't she the first person that done that? Because Ember Moon, she is a former NXT Women's Champion, and she is the current NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. So yeah, Vic Joseph, he was wrong on that one. It was Ember Moon that did that. But yeah, that was it with that. You know, great show, great night one. I'm just waiting for night two, man. Night two looked like it's gonna be better, but this show is good too. It was great, but I'm waiting. I'm looking forward for night two, man. And so yeah, man, this is the NXT Women's Championship match to end off the show, and that was the review. And oh yeah, and just like what I said for Ciampa and Kushida, and you know, who's next? Like, what's next for Io Shirai, man? What's next for Io Shirai? A lot of people saying that she's going up to the main roster. That could probably happen, but I don't want to see her on the main roster because they will tear her to shreds on the main roster. They will ruin Io Shirai. Just look at their track record, man. Look at that women's division on Raw and SmackDown. You think they're gonna do something with Io Shirai on Raw and SmackDown? No, they're not gonna do nothing with Io Shirai. But yeah, I would love to see her back in NXT, like just for one more match, man. I want to see her go up against Xia Li. I want to see her go up against Xia Li because Xia Li, as a heel, man, she's doing good right now. She's doing a great job right now as a heel. And with this new character, I just want to see them fight. I want to see them interact with each other and fight. But I don't think we'll get it. I don't think we'll get it. But yeah, man, that was it with the review, man. You know, great show. Can't wait for night two. And yeah, man, if you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And comment down below. Tell me how you felt about this takeover, this night one. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. How do you felt about this night on NXT TakeOver? How do you felt? Tell me down below in the comments. And share this video, man. Share this video with each and every single person that you come across on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys on Thursday, man. I'll see you guys on Thursday, man. And I did not watch Dynamite. I did not watch it. Did not watch Dynamite. You know, I did heard that Mike Tyson was there on AEW Dynamite. I heard about that. You know, they did that to combat NXT. They did that to combat NXT. And so yeah. And yeah, I didn't watch it, so I'm gonna watch it, you know, tomorrow. I'm gonna watch it on Thursday. And, you know, I'm gonna review it. So yeah, I'm gonna review it right before I watch night two. And then on Friday, And then on Friday, I'm going to do Impact Wrestling because Impact Wrestling had moved to Thursdays. So I'm going to watch NXT Night 2 first. And then I'm going to watch Impact Wrestling on Friday. And I'm going to review it on Friday. And then on Saturday, we got WrestleMania Night 1. So I'm going to watch WrestleMania Night 1 and I'm going to review it. And then on Sunday, we have Night 2 of WrestleMania. Night 2 of WrestleMania. And so I'm going to review that on Sunday. And then on Monday, oh yeah, also on Sunday, no, Saturday. On Saturday, they had the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view for Impact Wrestling. So yeah, I'm not gonna watch that live. I will review the show, but I'm not gonna watch it live. I'm gonna watch it on Monday. I might watch it on Monday and have it up. And so yeah, that's the schedule, man, for for the next couple of days. And yeah, man, once again, man, thank you for the support, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you missed last week's episode of NXT, the go home show before TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, the video is gonna be right up here. Make sure you click it if you missed it, and it's gonna be the link is gonna be in the description too. The link is gonna be in the description too. So yeah, you can either click up here or you can click down there in the link, in the description, And so yeah, man. Once again, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and that's that.